Today's video is going to be, well, let me start off by saying happy 2016 to everybody who's made it. And that's like no slight to anybody who hasn't made it. I hope 2016 brings new changes, new aspirations, new revelations, just newness, wholeness, togetherness, good stuff. I've been thinking about how I want my channel to go and what direction I want my channel to go. And I'll always talk about Black events and Black topics because I am Black and I do have an invested interest in Black topics. But I want to make this channel specifically about sexual abuse because it is a taboo topic, and also because my book and my career-wise is in sexual abuse. I have my degree in psychology. I have personal experience with being a survivor of sexual abuse, and also it's a taboo topic that people do not want to talk about. And statistics show that we must talk about it because it's so prevalent, whether we're talking about it in our households, whether we tell our young children, don't let anybody touch you here, and then that's the end of the conversation, whether we are making sure that this is a topic that's said over and over again, or maybe it's in your school or whatever the case may be. I feel like this subject is very touchy, but also a topic that needs to be talked about. So this is the direction I'm going with my channel, is going to be about sexual abuse. I said on Facebook, I posted that I was going to tell or make a video about what's it like to be sexually abused, because you either get three responses from my experience when you tell people about this. It's either the, oh, I pity you and I feel so bad, and it's like you just experienced it yesterday, so people want to comfort you and make you feel like it's not your fault, which it isn't to any survivor, anybody who has gone through that. It's never your fault. But I don't like that reaction, because even though it's genuine, it doesn't make me feel any better. It kind of puts me off, like, okay, this happened when I was 7. I'm 23. The 23-year-old me that I currently am, she has processed that and she has moved on. So please don't pity me. I'll take that for the 7-year-old me, but the 23-year-old me, we're good. You get the reaction where people kind of look at you like, are you going to cry? Are you going to go into a bipolar rage? Or they look at you like you're kind of defective, like there's something wrong. There's going to be an emotional response. Or the third response is that people want to ask you 150 million questions. Now you become an expert of sexual abuse, which me personally, because I've gone through it and I've gotten the necessary healing so I can talk about it freely, I don't want to be the face of sexual abuse. I don't want to be the poster child for it. I just want to tell my experience and hope that it helps someone else. But I don't all of a sudden want to be that person you go to and then now all of a sudden every single thing turns into, let's talk about child sexual abuse. It's like, no, let's not make every subject about that. We can talk about other things outside of sexual abuse. So, what's it like to be sexually abused? From my experience, and I can only talk about my experience because I don't know any other person's personal experience. I've known people who've gone through it, but I don't know how they feel, so I'm not speaking in general terms. I'm talking for me, so I'm talking as V for me. It's like, for me, I had the talk with my mother, don't let nobody touch you in certain areas, which I already had, it's down pat. But when it actually is happening to you, you just go into a space in your mind where your brain can't compute, because you were prepared for don't let anybody touch you, but you were not prepared for, if it does happen to you, this is what you do. You get prepared for the after and the before, but not the during. And what I mean by that is your parents will tell you, if it does happen to you, tell me. Your parents will say, don't let that happen to you. But if someone is trying to molest you, what do you do? And as a child, I didn't know what to do. I just didn't know what to do, because it was conflicting messages, because I was also getting the message, respect your authority, don't make any trouble, don't let me hear that you acting up, which I never was. And now the person who's supposed to take care of me is violating me. and I feel wrong. I feel guilty. I feel shame. I feel fearful because I don't know what to do. No one prepared me for this, and I don't like it, but I don't want to get in trouble for disobeying her authority. It's a her, not a him. It does happen. And I don't want to be the person at fault, but I know this is wrong, but I can't tell anybody. And this is the conflicting messages with a lot of survivors when it comes to rape molestation, is that they just feel as if they're stuck. And I think it is up to parents to educate their children about, if it does happen, this is what you do. Because we have the stop, drop, and roll. That's actually in a fire. You don't tell someone what happens after the fire. You don't tell someone what happens before your fire. You tell them as the fire is happening, you stop, drop, and roll. You tell your children when someone's coming in a trench coat and a fedora hat talking about, coming to my car, I got free candy. You tell your children exactly what not to do. You run, you crick, you scream, you do whatever. But when it comes to molestation, we tend to be like, okay, this is after, this is before, anything in the middle, it's up to guesstimation. And a lot of children feel like they don't want to betray the person who is hurting them, but they also feel wrong for it, allowing it to happen. They feel as if it's their fault because they allowed it to happen. And as a young child, you can't process those feelings. You're just there. You're just experiencing, and you feel conflicted. And then when it does happen, there are some survivors who actually tell their parents. A lot of them don't tell their parents because it feels like, I have let you down. I have broken your trust, your standard of tell me afterwards. I shouldn't have let it happen in the first place, and because I let it happen, I don't know how I can come to you and tell you that it happened, especially if there's a whole lot of other dynamics. If the person who's molesting that child is a babysitter, that's another dynamic than some stranger. It's harder if it's the stepfather. Now it's the guy you married. It's harder depending on who it is. If it's someone who's close and that child sees that person on a regular basis, it's hard to tell that parent this is what's going on, especially if the parent has trust in this person. You don't want to be the person that destroys the trust. You don't want to be the person that destroys the safetyness of that parent and that other adult. And sometimes it's kids. I mean, another experience, my personal experience, it wasn't an adult. It was a kid. Actually, both of my experiences, one was the babysitter's daughter, and she was like teenager, like around 16, and I was 7. The other time, I was about 11, and the boy was maybe around my age. I'm not sure how old the boy was, but it was my aunt's friend's cousin. Son. So, and another thing, as parents, we tend to have this belief as, because we share the same cultural background, that we're both Haitians, the people who molested me, and also their parents, they're both Haitian. And I'm not saying like this is specifically attack on Haitians. It's a cultural thing. We as people tend to think because we have certain things in commonality that this person won't violate the trust. We tend to think because we're both Haitian, or we're both black, or we're both males, we're both in this fraternity, that they won't violate my child. They don't have any personal twisted fantasies or skeevy behaviors, because you think you know this person because you share certain things. And I'm like, that's not necessarily true, because most people who have been sexually violated don't tell people that they've been sexually violated. And most people who molest were molested. So with that being said, you don't really know the person. You assume. I mean, this deep things going on in families. There's families who molested other family members, slept with other family members, and some may know and some may not know, and it's not spoken because you don't want to be the one that shatters the security of the household, even though it's not safe if you are being violated. I mean, we in certain families go into this whole like, oh, Uncle Bob, he's a little off. Don't let no children stay with Uncle Bob. We love him, but always be careful around him and children. And on the outside, it looks fine. But if you're on the inside, you understand that Uncle Bob has molested every cousin. So when they say don't leave the kids with Uncle Bob, that means Uncle Bob is a molester. We're not going to bring Uncle Bob to court and have him be arrested, charged, sentenced to prison. No, because he's family. You don't want to put family in the system, especially when you're black. It becomes one of those, fake outrages. This fake, oh, we have this person's back because they're black. This automatic brotherhood or sisterhood because they're black. And the thing about it is black, white, orange, purple, alien. If this person's doing you wrong, this person deserves any sentence, just like if someone was white. This whole thing that we have to honor this code, honor this respect factor, and have each other's back when someone's doing you wrong. Like, taking it back to being a rapist or being a molester, you don't get that favor. You don't get that code of honor. You don't get that protection if you're out here hurting others. And that's what I wanted to talk about for the new year. I guess that's what I'm going to start off with my channel and how I want my channel to go with. It is going to be about sexual abuse. This channel, my other channel, it's not going to be about that. I think I'm going to focus more on my goals in my career and what I want to do. For y'all who is first seeing this video, I am an author. I am in the process of putting together an ebook of my first self-published book titled Memoirs of a Forgotten Child. And it does go into sexual abuse. It goes to a lot of abuse, a lot of internal conflict. And that's why I felt like I wanted to take this channel in that direction, because it's what I know, it's what I studied, and that's what I came in contact with. It's surprising when you live in your truth and you speak your truth, how many people feel so open to talk about their truth. Because looking back at it, a lot of the people I came in contact with as children, they also had the same signs of being sexually abused. I knew personally this one boy who has been abused in that manner, and he didn't come out to me. His relative came out to me, and it shocked me because, long story short, the boy was different. And I always knew there was something that must have happened because he was different. And when she told me that and she came to me with confidentiality, I respected her and I respected him. I never told him that I knew, but I've always had his back because I knew he was strange and I knew something happened. And when I knew what actually happened, I just had more of a safetyness for him because I knew. Once you know, you have that compassion for someone who has gone through it. As the survivor, now, if you're going out and you're doing wrong to others, I don't have that sympathy for you because you knew. Because you have personal experience, you don't go out and hurt other people. That's just evil. If you have firsthand experience, you don't do that to somebody else. I can't co-sign that. But that's neither here nor there. I just wanted to let you guys know, Happy New Year's. Hope your 2016 is everything. Hope you accomplish everything that you wanted to do. Hope you have brand new ventures, find love, money, success, whatever. I hope you have it. So let me know in comments below if this video could help you or anybody else. Do you know someone who's been violated in a sexual manner? What did you do? Have you ever spoke your truth? Have you ever, went the legal route and brought charges upon this person? Let me know in the comments below. Comment, rate, subscribe, and share. That's the end of my video. Be blessed, and I'm out.